Okay, I've decided to show you a little bit of the gameplay of this turn. I went on and played some of the turn. So what I did so far was that I used my three air wings, my tactical air wings up here to bomb the Soviet army that was just south of Leningrad. I also bombed the army blocking the advance here. And then I made attacks on this army and destroyed it. It was shattered because there was nowhere for it to retreat. And so now I hold the rail corridor south of Leningrad, and these units are in peril of being cut off. This army, this corps, and this headquarters are in danger of being cut off. I also advanced the Panzer Corps and the Infantry Corps toward Koposa along the rail line. They didn't make it very far because this unit was difficult to dislodge. In the south, or sorry, in the center, I was able to encircle the Soviet units here. There was a unit that was sort of on a salient here, and I was able to shatter that unit because it had nowhere to retreat. And then I launched a very expensive attack with my Panzer Corps here, which was a little bit silly in retrospect. We can look at the message, or let's see, the report. How do I find those? Here we go. If we look at the latest land combat, I think that was this hex right here. You can see that I had 6-to-1 odds, so I thought it would be a pretty good assault with the 7th SS Panzer Corps and the 56th Corps, Panzer Corps, and against the 27th Army, which was entrenched in the woods. Still 6-to-1 though. The attacker took 5 losses, and the defender took 7 and retreated. So that's 5 very expensive steps on Panzer Corps units. Those cost a lot to replace. So you can see now this Panzer Corps is down to 26 steps out of 30, and this one is down to 29 out of 30. So that really attrits my combat power in the area. I shouldn't have made that attack in retrospect. I really didn't think I would lose 5 steps. That was, I think, an unusual result. I also moved an infantry corps from the south to cut off this pocket. And then I sort of closed the pocket here, and this unit that was filtering through the swamps, I moved the Hungarian Corps, which is fairly powerful for a minor ally corps. It's got 49%, which is good. He's faced some combat, and I've been able to get his experience up fighting against smaller units, which is something I've been trying to do with the minor allied units, is use them in fairly easy fights to bring their experience up so that they're a little more useful and I can make use of their manpower pool. So anyway, I was able to close the pocket. I think it might become a moving pocket trying to break out to the east. And if bad weather sets in, then supply is going to become an issue for both my Germans and the Soviets that are in the pocket. And that pocket may be able to filter out and escape with some units, but I'm hopeful that possibly I can stop the whole pocket from getting away, which would, I think, be a huge blow for the Soviets in the south. I was also able to assault and take Smolensk this turn. It cost me that I took some losses, but the corps there, or the army there, was shattered. And then there were some partisans here that I was able to kill. I railed a new reinforcement corps here, and I moved a corps from the front line to kill a partisan here. And also, this is a weak, I think, 20-point corps. It was able to kill the other partisan. So that sort of removes the threat to my supply lines that was occurring. Here there are some units, I think, with 5 moves, so they could just run roughshod over my supply lines here. So I have to figure out how to close that. I think I would like to use my 2nd Reinforcement Corps to send it to the south, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that yet. I'd like to send it here. I think instead I need to put some units in here to prevent my supply lines from being cut, especially to Army Group North around Leningrad. So what I'll do is I will place the corps here at Warsaw, and then I will rail it into this area. Let's see, probably this unit could move, I think, 2 in the swamps, 3, 4, 5, so it could do a really good job of cutting off Army Group North. I think what I'll do is put it here. This would, actually no, that won't work. I think I need to put it here. unless I move this headquarters back. So the problem is this unit could go 3 points into this Zoc, because I think it's +2 for a Zoc, and it's moving along a rail, so it won't cost swamp. And then it could move 4 and then 5 and cut my supply. So I need a zone of control here, so that means I could put the unit here, and I think that would prevent it from cutting my Zoc, so I'll go here. Okay. Now, I think the other thing that the Soviets could do is this unit could go 2 into the swamp. I think 3, 4, 5 to cut my Zoc, or to cut my supply. And so I think I need another unit right in here that would project a Zoc into these hexes. And I think if I do that, the Soviet Zoc won't convert these rail line hexes as long as I have an opposing Zoc on the hex. So I think a unit right here would sort of lock down the north from Soviet raiders. So to do that, I have a choice. I could either move this Panzer south, or I could rail in another unit. I may choose to rail another unit in. Let's see if I can find a likely candidate. Got some Romanians here, but they're on unconverted rail, so they can't rail yet. I've got this division at Odessa, but I don't want to have to retake Odessa, and I like to have an anti-partisan unit in the area, so I won't use it. This corps, actually, yeah, I'm down to 40 rail capacity, so if I rail this corps, it means I won't be able to rail this Panzer Corps. He's been here resting and refitting. He's really not done yet, but I wouldn't mind railing him to an area where I want to use him, so that if he gets more reinforcements and efficiency by next turn, he's available to use. I think I want him here because this looks like some opportunity possibly to cut off these units. So I think, but if I do that, I won't have enough units to rail here. So I really have no choice but to either leave this Panzer here or use him to close this gap. I could move him south, but I don't like to move Panzers, both because it reduces their efficiency, which I think costs me production to refit, and it also costs me oil. And you can see my oil is only at 54%, so I'm not keen on spending oil. Generally throughout the game, I'll rail the Panzers as much as I can instead of walk them. I think in this case, I'll go ahead and walk it 2 hexes. I probably should have, let me see what my last move was. Yeah, it was railing this guy. So let me make a change. I'll rail this infantry unit here, and then I'll walk the Panzer unit here. Actually, maybe here would do the trick, because I don't think, yep, I think here at 2 movement points, and that puts him closer to the front line where I want him anyway. So I'll do that. Okay, so now it looks like I've got Zocs all along this rail. They won't be able to convert it, and I'll go with this in the north. Okay, then the next question is, do I make an assault with the Finns? This is only a 2-to-1, however this corps is a 9-to-1. I think I'll do the bully job on this corps. So let's bring both. If you hold control and press your, like let's say I select the unit, so I want to attack with this unit. It's only 6-to-1. So now I can hold the control button and hover over another unit, and it gets a little green marker around it, which brings it into the attack. So now it's a 9-to-1. So let's make this attack. And we were able to shatter that unit. Then the question is, maybe this 1-point unit is a better attack than this unit, because that could, I think, put this whole pocket in a little bit of supply difficulty. They could still trace, I think, through here possibly, but I think it would be tough on them. If I move this unit, it will cost all of his movement to go to here, so he won't be able to attack. So I could just launch a direct 1 corps versus 1 corps assault at 5-to-1, and that's what I think I'll do. I was able to push him back, and then I'll shove this corps forward, make another 6-to-1 to push him further into the pocket, and then I think I'll move this corps. Actually, I'm trying to decide. I could move, I think I want to move this corps back toward Leningrad, and this corps, which is only a 20-point corps, up. The reason is I want two 30-point cores to attack Leningrad from the north, and the idea might be if one becomes attrited by attacking the city, then I have another corps to step in and continue the attack. So I want to be able to rotate corps there. This division, I think, is free to come south because earlier the Soviets had a corps here, but it looks like they've left. I don't know if Leningrad has a lot of value because I'm not sure if Arkhangelsk freezes over in the winter or not in this game. It might. It doesn't in most games. So I think what I'll do now is I will I'll rail his division here so that then next turn I can walk him up to reinforce this 20-point core. Actually, do I have two? No, this 20-point core to make it a full strength core. So let me rail the division over. The Finns have separate rail capacity, by the way, from the German. Every country has their own rail capacity, and that's why the Finns have rail capacity remaining. This headquarters is still able to reach all the units with range of 5, so I think I'll leave him right here. That should finish the Finns. So the whole north is now moved. I've got a Panzer Corps here that didn't move at all, but that's because it had moved forward to in the advance and been cut off. So now it is just refitting in the rear, and I didn't move it this turn. Okay, to the south. And by the way, if this is going long and you're not interested in watching this sort of blow by blow, feel free to stop the video. I wasn't sure whether anyone would be interested in seeing this much of the strategy, so that's why I didn't record all my moves in the north. So anyway, looking at the south, I would like to push farther here, but I think it's more important to cut this pocket. All the oil is down here, so there's 10, 15, 20, 60 points of oil production down here, which is huge. I'd love to get into this, but right now I have a unit that's out of supply here because he advanced so far, and I want to close this pocket. So I don't think this turn I can advance south, so what I'll focus on instead this turn is the pocket. Let me start with the north because he's really got this north kind of hemmed in. He's got a very strong armor unit here, a guards tank that's dug in. I think what I might start out with is sort of clearing the area a little bit by killing this unit. The problem is it'll retreat to here and be more in my way if I try to advance on this rail line at all to sort of seal the pocket. So, or I could push these guys back. I don't think that's worthwhile though. That's a 6-1. If I attack this guy, it's a 9-1. I kind of like that because I'm really set up for this attack. So I think I'll start it out with this 9-1 and bang this guy back. Although I don't love where he'll retreat. Oh, I shattered him, so no retreat at all. Perfect. Okay, and then the next step will be, I think I'll leave this armor corps. It's too strong, this Red Army Tank Corps. Instead, I want to move on this Rifle Corps. So it's 3-1. I don't think I'll shift him with the 3-1. I'd probably just bang into him a few times with this Hungarian Corps, which isn't ideal, but the other alternative is to spend 3 of the 4 movement points of this Hungarian Corps to try to get a 2-hex assault on this unit. I don't love that either, but I think that's probably a better option. So I'll do that. I'll move my Panzer, which is not in great shape, but still is effective because I've got an elite upgrade on this unit. So the little star in the corner of the unit shows that I put an elite upgrade on it. As you progress and as you get experience with your units, you're able to put sort of specializations on your units, and I put an elite specialization on this unit. This is the German 3rd SS Panzer Corps. So I'll advance it forward. And then the question is, do we want to waste any bombing on this guy? He's dug in 1 point of entrenchment. I've got a lot of bombers here. And I've got a fighter that I think can cover this. So yep, I think I'll launch at least 1 bombing strike here. No losses. And I think I'll launch another. That caused 1 loss. So hopefully that'll soften him up. Yep, now this is a 10-1, so let's launch that. We just pushed him back. Unfortunate, I would love to have destroyed him. If I move this Panzer forward, it looks like these units are able to get into the hex the Panzer is in. I didn't want to move him forward and then not be able to fill his hex, so I will move him forward. I'll launch another 10-1 on this core, hoping to destroy it. And yes, so the Panzer took a loss, but the core is destroyed. I'll pick the strongest core here to fill Kursk. So yeah, it's gone pretty well here. I could advance farther, but then I think that puts this guy so far out of supply. He's already low effectiveness. He's down to 27 strength. I'll leave him here. Let's see how we can do from the south. In the south, I wish I knew how strong this guy is. Let's find out how strong he is. I think I'll move here. No, I'll move this guy here. Let's see. Oh, he's 7. Wow, crazy. Okay, so we have to go around. We're not going to be able to go through him because that's a tough troop. Let's see what we can do. Bombing him? I don't think we'll do much to a 7-point unit, but maybe I should have tricked him a little bit. I think I'll try that. The other option would be to rail a bomber north to help with Leningrad and the center encirclement, or to move the bombers south and try to make headway here. I could attack this guy with my bombers. Currently I have a 2-1. And even potentially move the Italian armor up here. That might be a good idea. So yeah, let me try that. So I'll launch a couple bombing strike. There's no Soviet fighter here to cover. No effect. I killed one. So it probably reduces effectiveness. I said no effect, but it probably was not truly no effect. I think I'll use this Flieger Corps as well, this air wing. Caused another point. And that's all I can get unless I spend one movement to rebase a bomber down before attacking. This bomber could also attack. Let's use him. Another point. Okay, he's down to 2 strength. So now I will send I think I'll send my Italian armor here. And let's see what we can muster. 6-1. That's pretty good. He retreated. I'll advance with the German Corps. Attack him again at 9-1, and he shatters. Great. Okay, so I've at least opened up this rail line so it can start to convert. Rails convert, I believe, at 2 hexes a turn. So if I press the supply key, it looks like the rails are not converted. They're converted only to right here. So probably only 2 more hexes will convert next turn, which is not great, but that's all we can do. This port will probably fall unless I do something to reinforce it. I wanted to try an invasion. The Germans have 10 landing ships, so I wanted to take this port. Let's see what happens. I'm not sure if I can take it. If I move it, I've got a beach here and a beach here. So let's try this beach, I guess. The air tried to interdict me and failed. They didn't find me. So I'll press the invasion button. And for some reason, it's not letting me land. I just don't understand why I can't land. I think 10 points should be enough to land with this division. And I cannot undo the move either. So this is a problem because now these ships are going to come out and try to blast my my division that's afloat. I don't understand why this division can't land. Okay. Anyway, I'm not sure what to do with this unit. He is now out of move. Oh no, he's not out of moves. Okay, I'll just sail him straight back to port. I think I can do that. Let's see. He's not moving though. Why is he not moving? Odd. Boy, he's in great danger here. I don't know what else to do with him. He's just gonna get smashed if those ships find him. And he can't move. So... oh, he got to a port. Hooray. Alright. Let me see if I can unload him. Yes. Escape. Okay. So he can hold this port. This is perfect. This unit, I do have rail left, but I need to rail my reinforcing unit. No. How do I still have 40 rail left? Did I not rail both of my reinforcing units? I thought I did already, but somehow I have 40 rail. Okay. I guess I thought I had fewer rail than I actually do. So I think it's time to pull this unit, actually both units ideally, out of the Sevastopol area. I need to get a minor allied corps to hold that, but I'll start by moving this unit out. Where can he rail to? I think I'll send him to the... I could send him here. I wouldn't mind another unit in this area, really, but I don't want to move this tank. Could send him here to kind of reinforce the north side of it. I think this is a good idea. I think I need more on the north side of this breakout, probably. And worst case, that'll sort of free up this Romanian corps to head down to the Crimea to hold Sevastopol. Okay, so that's all my rail moves. I think I can probably give up Sevastopol. There are no Soviet units in position to invade. And even a partisan here, I guess, well, I don't want a partisan in Sevastopol. That's a fortress. It'd be hard to dig them out. Okay, so I think we're done here. I don't see any reason to advance farther in this area. I almost want to retreat a hex to get closer to supply. I think I'll do that. I wonder why the Italian can't move north. That's odd. So if this guy retreats, the Italians should be able to go in this city, but he can't. Okay, well, I'll just leave them where they are. And then over here, I do have this Panzer. I don't want to get him strung out of supply, so I think what I'll do is I'm going to move this unit to try to sort of close the pocket. Let's do that. This guy is really, he's down 4 strength and he's only at 62 effectiveness, but it looks like the pocket is officially closed for the turn, although I'm sure the Soviets will ooze out and reopen it. They've got a unit at Voronezh, units here, and also a unit here. So I don't think the pocket will hold right now, but it's, I think all these units are probably doomed unless the weather saves them. I want to send a unit out toward Stalingrad to hold that. So let me march this guy along the rail line. I can't abandon it yet with this guy, even though he's out of supply. Unfortunately, because of this unit, he'll just retake it. So I think I'll just, what could he do? He can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can cut supply. I think if I go here, though, it costs him 3 to get into the city. I think I can safely withdraw a hex, and he won't be able to retake it because 1, 2, no, he can't get in. So that gets this guy slightly closer to supply. This guy I'd rather not move unless it's back towards supply. So if we look at supply, I think it's better to just leave this guy in the hex he's in this turn, possibly. And then for these units, I don't have a lot of extra units here. I think I will sort of tighten the hold on the pocket here. I will use the Romanians here, potentially. Yep. And let me take this rail hex. I'll move my headquarters up. I've got 2 headquarters here, actually. I think I'll use 1 to hold this rail junction because it's fairly important. I don't want a partisan to pop up there. Actually, let me undo that. Maybe I can just move him 1 hex to hold the rail junction. And then this headquarters, I want to get a headquarters effect out here. So let me move him here, which lets him command all of these units that are part of the encirclement. This tank, let me move it into this Panzer unit, let me move it into position so that next turn He's able to move forward to reinforce the encirclement, the east flank of the outer circle. And then this infantry corps, I'll move up. I just think this encirclement, I don't see how the Soviets can get out of this. It's going to be tough for them. Let's see what happens next turn, I guess. They could run east as fast as they can, but they'll hit Zox here unless they're able to push this corps aside. He's weak, but I don't think they can push him. So then on the east, or the west side of this encirclement, let's just sort of sew it up. I think this should do it. I move this division here so that next turn I can rail him. Because I've got a couple of understrength corps. This one only has 20, and I think I've got another corps with 20 somewhere. So I'm going to send him to merge with the corps to make it full strength up near Leningrad so I can make that assault with more units as units start to get attrited assaulting Leningrad. So I think I'm fine here. I don't see anything else I need to do in the south. Got Kiev held by this headquarters. I need to move this fighter unit up. He's a new tech 1941 escort fighter with long range. So I'm looking for where the Soviet air is. I think they might have started to disband their air. I don't see a lot. I think I'll use him probably in this area since he's got good range. Yep. Okay, so I'll stop the video here. That's most of the turn done. Not much left to do except a little bit of cleanup. I think most of my main units have moved. I might just reshuffle some air around. Thanks for watching.